I just spent 6 months analyzing slow motion footage of the world's best forehands. And I discovered something shocking. They all do 5 specific things at contact that 99% of rec players and juniors completely miss. You either hit very flat, low margin balls that are barely scraping the net, or when you do try to add a little bit of spin, the ball pops up immediately, turning into the infamous moon ball. But here's why that's killing your forehand. When your ball pops up with a high trajectory, you're forced to hit slower. It's simple physics. A higher trajectory plus more speed equals the ball going long. And this is the exact problem that's keeping you hitting 40-mile-per-hour forehands while Sinner is dropping 78-mile-per-hour bombs. Just check out this graph. Pros strike the perfect balance between the ball's spin and trajectory, and they do this by achieving Secret 1, the perfect racket angle. Scientists measured high-level players and found their racket faces were closed between 14 to 33 degrees at contact, averaging around 21 degrees. Now, there was some variance between the racket angles across different studies, and depending on what shot you're going for, if you're going for a lob or you're actually trying to hit high loopy balls, then you're gonna want your strings to be more vertical. But for your standard drive forehand, this tiny adjustment changes everything. It allows you to get crazy spin while gaining the ability to control the ball's trajectory, which means you can hit harder with zero fear of hitting long. Basically, you go from moonball city to slap city. Now, this isn't some wristy manipulation. High-level players achieve this closed racket angle through a very specific movement called internal shoulder rotation. And to unlock this magical movement, we need secret number 2. Try this experiment with me right now. You're gonna find a wall or a sturdy object like this.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay, you should be at your wall now. And we're gonna do step 1. We're gonna give it a light push with the wrist straightened out. And as you push, notice what happens. Your forearm tightens up. Okay, this time, you're going to get your wrist into this L shape, have it slightly laid back, and give it a nice shove. And do you feel the difference? It's pretty insane, right? Now you can keep your forearm and your wrist completely relaxed while applying this forward movement. This is the power of the wrist L position. And it was the key in transforming Fu's forehand from good to unstoppable. Sorry to expose you like this, Day, but you just got destroyed. See, when you don't have the wrist L position, a few big problems start to happen. Number 1, your hand has to death grip the handle just to control the racket head. All that gripping creates constant tension throughout your fingers and your forearm, and that's what leads to you cramping up just after 10 minutes of playing tennis. Number 2, you have to arm your shots. With a straight wrist, the racket and hand move as one rigid unit. So you end up compensating by muscling the ball with your whole arm, and your forehand becomes all about the bicep. Which, you know, that's not too bad, actually. Look at these.
Is that why you have those biceps?
Yeah, every time I kiss my bicep, it grows. Ideally, the racket lags behind you, creating that wrist L shape during your acceleration, and then you get this nice release through your contact. Because that's what creates the feeling of free power on your forehand. And number 3, you literally cannot generate modern topspin. And here's why. Internal shoulder rotation can only drive the racket head upward when you have the wrist L shape. See, with your wrist straight, shoulder rotation only turns the racket over. But watch what happens when I cock the wrist back. Using that same movement, now the racket is moving upward, allowing me to generate that massive topspin. So again, get your wrist into that L position, turn the shoulder over to close the racket, and drive up the back of the ball, and you'll start getting the trajectory and the spin you need for consistency. Now here's the part that nobody explains. The exact wrist angle is gonna change based on your grip type. If you're using an Eastern forehand grip, then you're gonna be using this movement called wrist extension to create that L shape. And through contact, it's gonna be releasing forward into forward flexion to create power. If you're using a Western grip variation, because your hand is under the handle, you're going to be using this radial deviation or thumbs up movement to create that wrist L shape, and your wrist will be passively releasing into ulnar deviation, helping you create forward pace. And if you're using a semi-Western grip or any grip between those two mentioned, then you're going to be using a combination of wrist extension and radial deviation to get your L shape. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Daytree, which forehand grip should I use? Then check out our free 2-minute forehand grips quiz, revised and updated, and you can access it in the comment section below. Now, even with the perfect wrist position, it's useless without the next step. I didn't think it was possible. I really didn't, but I just found something more powerful than these guns.
Jar, Schmidt, jar!
For what?
Seriously though, why is it that the strongest players are usually not the ones that are hitting the most powerful forehands? The answer boils down to 3 words. Space creates pace. Effortless power has almost nothing to do with arm strength. It's all about creating a good extension at and through your contact point. And I'll prove it to you in the next 30 seconds. Grab your racket and try this with me. Step 1, you're going to get into your forehand grip and have your arm comfortably extended away from your body. Step number 2, you're gonna rotate your shoulder and forearm over. Step 3, notice what happens. Your racket is gonna start driving upward. You feel that? Good. Step 4, you're gonna drop your arm down and do the same thing. Notice that now your racket is no longer driving upward, it's only turning and driving forward. Most players hit their forehands with their arm too close to their body, and as a result, they're not able to use that shoulder, and they're left using weaker movements like this bicep curl or just dragging their entire arm up to try to muster up any spin. And this leads to that tight feeling where you're pushing instead of releasing and rolling. Just look at Nadal, Federer, or Alcaraz. They all have this massive extension through contact. And even players with extreme grips like Sinner or Swiatek still maintain space between their elbow and torso, allowing them to get this big extension through contact. At this point, we have a simple framework for not missing. If the ball is sailing long, try turning your racket to close your strings faster. If the ball is going into the net, focus on the spacing between your elbow and torso. And if your grip feels tight, make sure you're getting into that wrist L shape at contact. Now that you understand the dials for creating control on your forehand, we're gonna turn up the knob for power. And we're gonna do that through a simple question. A question that destroys the potential of 99% of players' forehands. Where exactly should your chest face at contact? If your chest is anywhere near sideways, then you're killing your forehand. Because now, in order to get my racket forward or strings pointed toward the other side, I need to use this awkward chest flying motion. My arm has already done its job and I don't have any more space to extend through my shots. It's like trying to push an object, except you've already straightened your arms. Now watch the difference. When I rotate my chest all the way into the shot, I have all the space to extend my arm up and across my body, getting that nice release through the shot. And the exact amount of body rotation you need is gonna depend on a few things. If you're using an Eastern grip, then your body is going to be slightly more closed off to the side. The more extreme or Western your grip is, the more your chest is gonna turn into the net. And having a bent or a straight arm forehand is gonna have a similar effect. The more bent your arm is, the more your body will be closed at contact. The straighter your arm, the more your chest will be pointed toward the net. And here you need that sharp deceleration to get that whip-like release through your shots. And finally, the lower the ball, the more your body will tend to be closed off, and the higher the ball, the more you're gonna wanna aggressively rotate your body through your shots. And once you're fully loading and uncoiling through your shots, well, that's when your balls are gonna start spraying everywhere because you need the next step. This is the secret that took me the longest to start using. I mean, I knew it for years. Everybody knows it, but no one does it. Besides Federer and literally every other player with a great forehand. Just look at Federer's head as he hits the ball. Even as his body rotates violently, his head doesn't move. And here's why that changes everything. When your head stays still, your brain is able to maintain perfect spatial awareness. That's because your vestibular system, the balance center in your inner ear, relies on your head's movement to orient your body in space. It's like an airplane's control system. If this is even a little off, the aircraft doesn't just miss its destination by a few feet. It ends up hundreds of miles from its destination. And it's the same thing for your forehand. If your head is wobbling or jerking around as you hit the ball, your vestibular system is getting noisy data. This forces your brain to have to recalibrate literally mid-swing, which throws off your timing, your footwork, and your coordination. And that's usually when you find yourself dumping the balls into the net or sailing the ball to the back fence. When your head is still, your brain locks on to its internal GPS, and lining up winners becomes autopilot. No pun intended. Actually, it was very intended. It was literally in the script. Now, head stability is created through this counter-rotation movement from your neck, where your head is rotating toward your right as your body is rotating toward the left. And as you execute this, you want to make sure that your neck and trap are staying completely relaxed so that you're able to extend through your shots. Because remember, the entire body is connected. A tight neck equals a tight arm. Now, this head stability is going to create that perfect brake or deceleration of our body that allows us to get that whip-like release through our shots. Because the forehand ideally is executed much like a whip. You don't just get the speed by accelerating fast, you get that snap, that crack, that crisp, that pop, that boom, that bow, the blah. You get that magic when you have a sharp acceleration followed by a sharp deceleration. Because that's when all the energy is able to transfer toward the tip. And we need that same acceleration, deceleration, and release on our forehands. And the final benefit of this head stability, perhaps most important, is it just looks good. Now, the problem is attaining this head stability is nearly impossible under pressure while hitting hard and on the move, which is why I've created this 4-step drill progression to help you master that head stability. And I'm curious, let me know in the comments below which level you're able to get to. For level 1, we've got the shadow swings. Go to contact and make sure that your eyes are locked right behind those strings. Now get into your backswing and start rotating into contact while keeping your head still. Level 2, you're gonna rally from the service line and start very softly here from contact. And a helpful tip is to close your eyes at contact so you can get rid of that instinct to look at your shots. Level 3, you're gonna move to the baseline and start adding in the pace. Now focus on staying relaxed here, rotating your body for power while keeping your head still through that counter rotation movement. And finally, level 4, try to get this same head stability on the move and while hitting faster, just like this.
That's the one. That's the one.
Now find out exactly which grip you should use and how that affects your wrist action by taking that free 2-minute grips quiz in the comments below. As always, athletes, until next time, go out and swing with confidence. I will see you in the next video.